Hey guys, Livy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing things a little bit different. It's not a grocery haul. I've done a whole heap of them. You guys would have seen them. I really enjoy doing them, but today I thought I would give you kind of an update on how things are going. If you've been watching the channel for any length of time, you know that we're in the middle of a kitchen renovation. And I was hoping by now it would be finished and I could show you everything that's happened and give you an update and how great it is, but we're not there yet. So I thought that instead, the video I will show is kind of things that I wish I had been better prepared for, or wish I'd known, or things like if I could have looked into the future, what I would have been better prepared for or aware of. The reason I'm filming this is maybe someone else is going through their own kitchen renovation or preparing to go through any renovation, I guess, and kind of a snapshot of what it can be like or what to think about, what to prepare for, or maybe you need to just kind of feel a little bit superior to someone because there's things I should have thought of and I look back like, duh, why didn't you think of that? And maybe that's something you enjoy. But number one, the thing I wish that I'd been better prepared for is how long it takes to do the renovation. When we spoke to our contractor and we met with them and we ran through all the plans and got some of the details down and essentially paid the deposit needed to get this going, they said 6 weeks, which I feel like 6 weeks was a little bit too short. So I said, well, then I'm going to prepare for 8 weeks. And they were like, no, you shouldn't have to worry. It'd be 6 weeks. And my husband's like, I think you're going overboard in preparing for anything longer than 6 weeks. I thought, no, I'll prepare for 8. Gives me a 2-week buffer, because if anyone's done any kind of renovations, you would know that it generally goes longer than what you expect it's going to go for. And that was the case this time. It didn't take 6 weeks. In fact, I can't say it didn't take because that implies it's finished. We're not finished yet. We're currently on week 12. So we're on week 12 of no kitchen, which is not ideal. Being without a kitchen for this long is definitely a hardship. We originally thought it was going to be 6 weeks, and so I kind of prepared mentally for 8 weeks. I thought 2-week buffer, what a great idea. But we've had so many delays that have not been on the contractor at all. Things like our window didn't get delivered properly, and that was the first step. So we had to wait an extra week for that. Then our cabinets weren't ready, and then they weren't painted properly from another contractor. Our bench top didn't come in till later on, and then it took them a while to cut that, and just there's been so many small hiccups along the way. Our carpenter, it took a little bit longer to do something because, of course, our house is a little bit odd, so they've had to come back and fix things up. Just so many things like that have just... Of course, they've happened, and they've delayed everything, and currently, yes, we are on, I think, week 12 or 13 without a kitchen. So if anyone's out there is prepping, it's going to take longer than you think. Longer than you're going to prepare for either. The second thing that I wish that I had thought further about, and looking back, this is the one that makes me go, duh, why did you not think of this when you were first getting ready to do this renovation? And it is how pregnant that I am. So when we decided to do this kitchen renovation, we were like, we're going to do it before the baby comes. So we have a time limit. We really sat down and thought, well, how are we going to get this going? And we made plans, figured it all out. But I just thought, you know what? We'll start the renovation in that second trimester when I'm feeling good. It'll be over before you get into third trimester, heavy into third trimester, and it'll be fine. And that is not what happened, because obviously it's doubled in time. But now I am solidly in my third trimester. Solidly. Like, the end is in sight. And it is so much harder being pregnant with no kitchen. Funny how that works. I am not really excited to be cooking dinner. It's kind of my job that I've taken on. My husband and I dispersed our roles when we got married, and I love cooking. It's something I really enjoy. Turns out I don't love cooking with no kitchen. Not my most favorite thing for such a long period of time. I don't mind camping. I don't mind doing that sort of thing, but 12 weeks with no kitchen has been a real hardship on me. Emotionally, mentally, because we're trying to get it all sorted and fixed, and I've got this looming deadline in the background going, hey, there's a baby coming. But also physically, I'm exhausted all the time. And so mustering up the energy to cook when you don't have your space the way that you want it, or you don't really have space at all, very, very difficult. The third thing that didn't go exactly planned is how I was planning on cooking. So the biggest thing for me is I thought this isn't going to be that big of a change because I haven't had an oven for the last 4 years. We were just going to lose our stovetop, but we had the barbecue, and I love barbecuing. I often barbecue a lot. I thought I would use the barbecue so much more than I have, but reality comes and kind of says, well, that's not going to happen. So for the barbecue, I love barbecuing. I barbecue all the time, but I haven't really barbecued this year for multiple reasons. One of them being that it takes a lot of energy to barbecue, not just actually like having the materials needed to keep a fire going, but how long it takes. So pretty much you're like doubling, tripling the time from when you decide to cook something, like how long it usually takes if you did it on the stove or in the oven. This time round, I have just barely used it. I think tonight will be the first time that I use the barbecue. My husband's used it maybe twice in the last 12 weeks. Part of the reason is I have this giant belly, and I'm kind of nervous about accidentally bumping into the barbecue because the kettle gets really hot, so I don't really want my stomach to be touching it. So it's going to be kind of awkward to use. Also, we're in the middle of winter and it's so cold outside, especially on the back deck where we have it set up, that I don't want to be out there. And by the time 5:30 hits, it's already cold and dark. So not only am I working in limited light, but I don't have any heat. You really have to bundle up. And with a barbecue, I like to have the ability to move around a lot. You're working with something really hot. You need to have the space. And I don't have any space either because that's now where my pantry is. So there's just so many things and barriers that make it more difficult to overcome. I think I overestimated how often I was going to be barbecuing versus just trying to take the easy way. So originally when we were planning out the kitchen and the renovation, we were under the impression that we would be approximately 3 weeks without a washing machine. Now our washing machine, our laundry is connected to our kitchen. It was all in one, and we knew that if we were going to do a kitchen renovation, then the laundry had to be included because we wanted to extend the kitchen and make the laundry smaller, which is what we did. And I'm really excited and pleased by it all, but that meant no washing machine and no sink or running water in my kitchen area for an extended period of time. I think originally it was supposed to be 3 weeks just for the laundry area, which my laundry is hooked up. So I do have a washing machine. We are able to wash, and that's great, but I underestimated the difficulty of having no washing machine. It ended up being about 5 weeks, and in the end, because things were taking so long, my contractor actually pulled the plumber in early to kind of do a temporary connection, which we have a temporary connection, and hopefully that will be sorted this week, but laundry was so hard. The other hard thing is that we don't have any running water in our kitchen area. The only place that we can get water in our house right now is the bathroom, which shouldn't be a big deal, but we have 2 wash buckets that we take camping with us, and they're great, they work fine, but I physically cannot empty water out and fill it up because I can't bend over into the bathtub. And our sink is so small that you can't fill it up that way either. So we've been having to finagle that, work around some of the limitations. My husband empties it and fills it up. And if you're emptying water, and I've used it for washing dishes, you don't want to be emptying dirty food stuff into the bath. So that's being tossed outside, and it's just a whole thing. I underestimated how difficult it was going to be to wash my dishes. Originally I had a station set up on my back deck, but now my back deck is my pantry. So I had to reimagine that, and so sitting down and washing dishes and scrubbing it is quite the endeavor. I don't think that I go through so many dishes, but it turns out I go through so many. And I didn't realize how often I was using my dishwasher and how much I was relying on it till I'm sitting down and having to wash every dish from hand in this tiny little buckets, so much so that I'm having to dump it out halfway through to make sure I got fresh hot water. It's been quite the difficulty. I just underestimated how hard that was going to be. That's probably been the hardest thing. So I'm really looking forward to this week. We're supposed to be getting our water in and officially getting access to our sink, and our laundry should be finished. And so that's really exciting, but I appreciate you guys watching this video. This is obviously not the normal standard or normal video that I do, but I just thought it would be interesting for myself too later on to go, oh, the kitchen's not finished at this stage, she's still very pregnant, and maybe if I forget some of the lessons I can relearn them, or I can reflect and do better. I don't know. I just like to have this as a time to remember some of the things that I've had to go through in order to be where I want to be. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Go and watch some of my other videos. I will put them up on the screen. You can see my grocery hauls that I go through, and you can see the difference between when I have a full kitchen. So you'll be able to see my kitchen from before versus what I've been dealing with now. So I appreciate you guys watching it, and I will catch you on the next one. See you guys.